Look at what you just saw. This is what you live for. I'm a motherfucking monster.
So, back to photography.
Yes.
Who are some of your favorite photographers?
Oh my, I have so many. I'll just name a few because she did an amazing interview on me. So you need to read the rest of the interview to find out more about my favorites. But I'll name a few. I really love Terry Richardson. I just love his style. I can identify every time I read a magazine. I can say, "Oh, Terry Richardson." I have an accuracy of knowing his work about 95%, knowing what his work is. I love Tony Duran, of course, Anna Leibovitz. I really think, you know, she just connected with culture and pop culture, and I think that's important when you're a part of the art scene is, you know, I don't think you need to be 100% mainstream, but you need to have a connection. And if you want to be underground, you need to have a connection. And it's all about connection with creativity. And you link to one another, whatever field you into that.
So, magazines.
Magazines.
I know you have a big interest in magazines.
I love magazines.
How did that start?
It started when I was in fashion school. Surprise! And we had to do a lot of projects where we had to read magazines, go to magazine stores all the time. So I know a lot of magazine stores around New York, and I order from everywhere. France, England, Australia, Japan, China. To my mom, when they come to the house, they're school books. But a month in America, I spend about, let's say, 50 to 70 a month on magazines on a good day. If I go to New York, it's going to be about 100. I need to get inspired. I need to read things. I need to learn. So it's a really good source, and I save them in my archives.
How many magazines, on average, would you say that you own?
Over 50. But some I save in case times get rough. I need to sell them again. Those are the archives. But most of the time, I tear out the pieces I like and save them in another thing. But I have about, let's say 50 or maybe 60.
So what country would you say your favorite magazine has come from? One of your favorite magazines?
Well, I love America. I'm not going to knock down America. America has a lot of good options when it comes to magazines. You just need to look hard and you will find them. But besides America, China's been really good. And, you know, Paris, France has been really good too. I think they give you more than the obvious of images and make you think. I think sometimes when you think of an image, you shouldn't get it right away. Like sometimes I like certain music and stuff and movies that hey, I didn't get it right away. And I need to go away and think, well, why don't I like this right now? And then I'll go away and come back. Like I love Quentin Tarantino as a director, but sometimes I don't get his movies right away. I have to go back, sleep on it, and wake up and say, now I get it. Now I get your vision. So it happens like that.
How long does it take you to prepare for a shoot?
It depends what the shoot is. Sometimes I get a phone call and say, I'm ready to shoot. Let's make this happen. So it could be the day. I maybe have a few hours. Sometimes I have a week or a month. So you need to just, you know, you got to be prepared and have things always ready for action.
How do you prepare for a shoot?
Well, I get a full night's rest because I'm doing a million different things. I'm stretching, I'm directing, I'm looking. So I need a full night rest. I need to eat, maybe a little meditation, and you know, and know exactly where I'm going.
Okay. What are some of your pet peeves?
Lateness. I think you need to call in advance, an hour or more in advance if you're going to be late. You need to show up on time. You need to keep the entourage to a minimum, and you need to bring it.
Okay. So, what's one thing a person can do to ruin a photo shoot? Other than be late. You have to bring it. My job is to capture what you're doing and guide you, but it has to be something there already. I can't just create nothing out of anything. It has to be something already. Since you've been shooting, what has been some of your favorite works?
Some of my favorite works has been the accidents that's happened. Like I planned to shoot, but then, you know, we shoot other things. Maybe the weather changed our plans. I love shooting with my muse, Christina. We have future plans together. I've been working with her for over like 5 years. So we have a deep understanding of how each other work, what each other likes. She'll call me up and find locations for me. And, you know, we collaborate the best. We understand where we're coming from.
Who are some of your other favorite people that you've worked with so far?
I love Christina. She's my top. She just believes in me. She never questions me. So, of course, she's going to be on the top of my list. And we have future plans, like I said. On the music thing for your magazine, I love working with Sue. Sue has been my top favorite because he's brung it every time. His clothes weren't wrinkled, and he brung his own ideas. He had no excuses. I don't have a haircut. Oh, my clothes. No, and he found his own locations. Can I try that? And FYI, I'm gonna shout it out. he watches American Next Top Model. So I really feel anyone, I'm not saying you need to watch it every day, but if you watch it a couple of times and take a few notes, it's healthy to just practice in the mirror.
Who've been some of your least favorite?
My least favorite has been the furry. I don't know if that's going to make it anywhere. I'm not posting those effing pictures, but you can't. I don't want to hear any excuses. I heard a lot of stories during the shoot of everyone gives me different stories. They're high, allegedly high, drinking that Hennessy and Red Bull, and they still brung it. You'll never know. And I'm not going to say who did what. You'll see some of that on the work I'm doing, but some of the evidence. But I don't want to hear any excuses. Sometimes I only got like 3 hours of sleep that night because I was editing consistently. We've been working, for 6 days, 3 days a week for the past 2 weeks. Now it's going to be 9 days for 3 more weeks. So, sometimes you only get like a couple hours of sleep. I have to keep editing. We have to talk more about notes of what's going to happen. So no excuse. And they had a week in advance to know.
Okay. Do you like to collaborate with the people you shoot before the shoot?
I think it's good to have an understanding about how each other works. I think it's more important for me to know how their work. So when we started this project, I didn't really watch. I wasn't in the room for most of her interviews, but when I did listen to like 3 or 4, when I got to hear their story and more who they are as a person, it really helped because I did not know how I wanted them to look.
Okay. What's your favorite colors to shoot?
I love black and white. It's classic. I think it's a classic thing. I think when you have color, sometimes you get distracted. And in black and white, you get to just focus on what is important and what you're going to get out of it, and it just resides in you.
Okay. So I see you have 2 cameras here.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about your camera?
Cool. I first started with a Polaroid camera, but then I got upgraded for Christmas and birthdays to a digital camera. But this is my second one I had since high school. And I used it on a lot of shoots when I was in high school. It worked really cool. And then it's awesome. I still use it. But as you get older, you need something that's going to keep up with you. So now that was a Kodak. And then I upgrade now to the Nixon. The Nixon one because I paid it for with my own money. So things feel always better when it's your own money or other people's money that you don't got to pay back. And I need something lightweight because I'm moving around. I have to travel, throw it in my bag. I don't have time to carry a 50-pound camera, and I don't have the money to afford one either. So this is practicality, and you don't need more of a handful of much things anyway. In practicality, right? Too much of a handful.
So do you think small cameras are more effective in photo shoots than large, oversized?
I think it's all how you use it. I think it's like you give someone something and they use it differently. Everyone wears their hat differently. Everyone wears their clothes differently. It could be the same shirt. So you make the best of what you got. If you're on a low budget and you can only afford a $100 camera, this one only costs about $3. If you can only afford a $50 camera, you need to make the best use of it. You need to know the strength and weakness of the camera, and like the other one was kind of blurry sometimes. So you need to know the strength and the weakness of the camera, and just
As far as a profession, what would be the one thing you like about photography as a profession?
I think it's creative. It's different every time. I think that's the best part. You get to capture something that really moves people if you do it right. Or if you just, some images just reside in your mind forever. I have images in my mind all the time like, oh, I remember that shot. I remember how old I was. I remember what I was listening to because the image is just powerful.
What would be your least favorite thing about photography as a profession?
My least favorite would have to be paparazzo. Because I'm not trying to knock anyone from trying to make a living and pay for their families. I'm well aware that doing that pays very well in a couple of figures. But I just find it just think about it for yourself. Do you want to be taking pictures of when you're in your sweats, doing laundry, walking the dog? You're in your sweats. You're not prepared to be taking pictures of. And then you have 7 people jump out of bushes and cars with giant cameras and flashes getting you. And you're comfy, You want to get your happy back. You don't want to just be ambushed. I shoot people like I would like to be shot. I wouldn't want no one to shoot me like that.
Okay. What's your favorite thing you own? Is it your camera? Is it something else?
I have my archive book, which is my thing that it's just every image or everything I really like. It's like my notes. It's my visual notes of pictures and stuff I cut out of magazines. I can't save every magazine. My room be full of them. So they're cut, they're collage, they're visual notes that I've been using. I've been doing it for about 5 years. It's a giant book. It's like my Bible.
So it's your Bible of photography.
My visual Bible.